Herzlich willkommen zurück hier beim e-commerce.de Podcast. Heute mit einem besonderen Gast, und zwar dem Gesicht von Helium10, Brandley Suttom. Der Podcast heute wird komplett auf Englisch sein, weil Brandley leider nur Englisch spricht. Ist super interessant geworden. Ich habe ihm einige Fragen gestellt zu Themen wie AI, wo er das in seinem Business nutzt, Dinge, die er aktuell als Entwicklung sieht, Ratschläge, mit denen ich nicht unbedingt gerechnet hätte, die er gegeben hat, für Leute, die im Grunde genommen Amazon-Seller sind, was deren nächste Schritte sein sollten. Und jetzt würde ich sagen, will ich gar nicht lange drum herum reden, sondern wir starten direkt rein in den Podcast. Viel Spaß damit.
Hey guys, how you doing? Today the podcast in English, and we have a special guest here from the United States of America, Brandley Suttom. You probably all gonna know him from Helium10. I think the face of an industry somehow over the past few years. Actually, we were doing our first video. I just looked at that in the beginning, I think, of 2019 or the mid of 2019.
Wow. It's been a while.
It's been a while, definitely. So, Brandley is, I don't even know what you're doing in Helium10. It seems you're doing everything, but maybe you give ourselves a little intro and then we get straight into it.
Yeah, so my official title these days is Chief Evangelist and Director of Training, but I work with a lot of different, departments at Helium10, even on the product side, like giving ideas for tools and helping guide the product roadmap, and obviously going to many events and things like that. I was just in Europe a couple times already this year, once in Germany and then also in Spain a couple weeks ago, but that's the beauty about my job. I love what I do. Like Amazon is exciting for me, but at the same time, I get to travel the world, meet new people. Really, this is a great industry to be in and great company, and I'm very blessed to be where I am.
Awesome. All right, nice to have you here, man. So let's get right into there, because I have a couple of questions I want to ask you, especially because you're from America, and obviously the American marketplace is always a couple of months at least ahead of the European, sometimes even a couple of years, I think. So one question I really want to ask you is, how do you use AI in your business, or how do you see other people implementing AI in their businesses right now?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are using AI in every aspect of e-commerce. I was one of the kind of like late people to the party as far as I wasn't on the bandwagon right away, like so early, like a lot of people were. So I was kind of like, let's just wait and see a little bit. There's too much glitter and stuff, and not enough substance, in my opinion. But the first things that I started using AI for in my business was mainly just connected to what Helium10 had. I mean, I started using AI for other aspects of my job, like the podcast that I do. Like now we can translate it to different languages and do clips and different things like that. So that was like my first entry into AI, but that doesn't have anything to do with Amazon. But for Amazon, I started using it mainly when Helium10 started integrating like ChatGPT in some of its tools. So the very, very first thing was for listing builder, for listing creation. And so this is twofold. First of all, obviously, there's a lot of marketplaces, and I'm a native English speaker, but like I can kind of speak Spanish, but it's not to the point where I'm like a native speaker. So in that situation, I would use Listing Builder, like if I'm creating a listing in Amazon Spain or any other marketplace for that matter, or doing demos in it. In the past, I would just say, hey, you need to hire somebody who can translate for you, and that's still good. That's still good advice. But some people maybe can't afford that. So what you do is, like, for example, let's just give an example for the German market, which I don't speak any Deutsch at all. I could do I've always been able to do the keyword research in German, where, hey, let me, I don't even know what the keywords mean, but I know, hey, where are these top 10 competitors ranking? Now I have that list of keywords, and then me being an English speaker, I can, in Listing Builder, put in English, my description, like what are the qualities of the product. So everything's still in my own language, and then push the button, and then using the keywords and using my English, now it's going to make that that listing in German, and vice versa. Somebody who lives in Germany trying to make a listing in Japan or something like that, they could do that. The second thing, though, along with listing building is, even as native speakers of whatever language we speak, we have like writer's block sometime, right? Where we're just sitting there, especially maybe we've been doing a lot of listings or it's late at night and we're just like, oh, where do I begin on this listing, or what do I do? So it's the same thing. Even I don't need help with English, but then sometimes I'll have it write the listing and I'll say, hey, I want this to be humorous or serious or casual or whatever. And then it'll have a theme. I'm like, oh, I like this. So of course, I'm going to go change it, a little bit here or there. But I might have, in the old days, I might just have given up until the next day, or like, I come up with something that's not good. And so that's another way I've been using AI personally.
That's really interesting. So I personally use it a lot for inspiration as well. So even if you have some good ideas, sometimes you run it through ChatGPT or some similar tools, and you find out there's a better way to put words together in the same meaning. And this is really interesting. But I would never like use it just like blind and just hope it's gonna be good. Not for now, maybe later. But as you said, I think the most and huge impacts are just about to come, because what we see at the beginning, it's always the same, right? New technology is coming. Everybody's super hyped about it. The impact is barely there, but right now we can see I think it's going to be big. I just saw a video actually from a Microsoft, I think a new computer or something, where you were searching for products, and the next day when you didn't bought the product, you could like just recover all the product pictures and then simply compare all the products you've just watched the other day on one page, just the pictures with pricings. And I think AI also is going to have a huge impact from the buyer's perspective. However, really interesting. So what is your where do you see the most opportunity at the moment if you're about to expand a brand or maybe found a new brand? Is there like any specific niches or marketplaces or ways of marketing that you see at the moment that have huge potential?
Well, if we're just talking in general, not specific to Amazon, I'm just seeing ridiculous things in the USA for TikTok Shop. Like I've always said that, hey, if you sell on Amazon, you should probably sell on Walmart as well, which I think is still true for most products. But then the ceiling of how high you can go in Walmart has never been that high. Like, yes, there are a few people who actually, for some products, for whatever reason, sell more on Walmart than Amazon, slightly. But I would say 95% of I don't have any real numbers, but just my estimate is maybe 95% of people know it's way more Amazon compared to Walmart. Yeah. But TikTok Shop is not as predictable as Amazon or Walmart. It's not a keyword base. It's not like, hey, let me find the best hashtags using Helium10 and let me index for these, and then, hey, let me advertise my way to page one. I mean, it's a completely different ballgame. It's 100% reliant on kind of virality and influencers pushing your product. But I know of customer, it hasn't even been around for a year almost, but I know some Helium10 customers who are Amazon sellers, and they have sold millions of dollars on TikTok Shop in less than a year. One is I would almost call him a brand new Amazon seller, only selling on Amazon maybe a year, doing amazing on Amazon, sold $1 million in his first year. How many people can say that? Yeah. In his first 5 months on TikTok Shop, I think he's done $3 million in half the time. And
I mean, it's probably
crazy.
like a good example. I think I probably wouldn't say that every product has the potential,
sure,
but at least I think a lot. Is it true? Like I've heard about they're gonna forbid it in the States, or they want to?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't like to predict things. I don't know much about politics and things like that. But
I mean, now Donald Trump is using it as well, so it's probably not gonna.
Yeah. From what I understand, it's like they made that ruling, but then either they're going to change the ownership or sell it or do something. So like, I cannot imagine it completely going away. But again, don't take my word for it. That's just my my take. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really interesting what you just said, like founding also new or other ways where you can sell your product with the base of having your sales and revenue on Amazon. So actually, this is what we're building for the past 4 years. So 4 years ago, we had a dream like in our team, and we were thinking about, okay, it's so hard today to get really good at multi-channel with all these different tools and sales channels and different marketing strategies, because obviously TikTok is a completely different game than what you're playing on Amazon. And so we're actually going to launch something. So a little promotion for all the people that are listening here. On June 16, we have a live webinar. We're launching something huge, like infrastructure combined with software and a lot of knowledge. So to bring your product all over the place here in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, however, that's really interesting because we were looking at TikTok Shop, and I think it's not that big in Germany right now. But it's definitely going to come, and also I think in the future probably like YouTube Shop or something like that will also get bigger.
Yeah. So just getting your product out there again. For most of Europe, they don't even have TikTok Shop. So I'm not trying to say, oh, this is the only way. But guess what? In America, we don't have what's that Polish website that's almost number one in Poland for marketplace.
I know, for example, in the Netherlands, it's bol.com.
Bol, and Bol in Netherlands, and I know Poland has one. Germany has a lot of marketplaces. So it's like, hey, look, where is your main country of where you are pushing your product, and how can you get other channels? Because when you start being successful on another channel, it actually also helps your Amazon sales. So there's some people who see a product on TikTok or TikTok Shop, but they're not going to buy it on TikTok Shop. What are they going to do? They're going to go on Amazon and they're going to buy it. Or they see, hey, wow, look at this bestseller on Bol. I like my Amazon Prime account. Let me go ahead and order it on Amazon Prime. So it's all connected. So like, I think one thing that Amazon sellers learned, especially in COVID times, was if you rely 100% on Amazon and something happens, pandemic or whatever, like your sales could completely go to zero. So you diversify, first of all, to protect yourself, but then it's kind of like a flywheel where the traffic and the sales are helping each other on the different marketplaces.
Yeah, 100%, my opinion. Okay, cool. So definitely check out maybe TikTok Shop or look on other marketplaces around in your country. One more thing, as we have some potentials, where do you see at the moment sellers are maybe losing or declining? Because maybe before I ask these questions, in Germany right now, or all over Europe, like the shipping prices are exploding. Like it's crazy. It's almost like in COVID, because of all the war stuffs going on North Africa. Is it the same? Like pricings are going up in the States, or is it almost?
There was a little bit of not necessarily inside the country, but importation from China.
Importation, that's what
definitely has gone up a little bit, but I just read a couple days ago supposedly that might start coming down, but yeah, okay, it goes up and down. Yeah, these things going up and down. Yeah,
it's more than tripled here in Europe.
Wow, so that's like inside of Europe to transport products or importing from China.
So
oh wow,
it's importing. Yeah.
Oh, because of like Suez Canal and stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
it's because the big companies know how to make money. I mean, they're doing their stuff to it. But however, so do you see sellers losing in some places or areas where you say, hey man, you should have an eye on that?
I think in America, you mentioned how things we get before Europe and things like Amazon Post and all these different things that maybe people think is a benefit that European sellers don't have, or subject matter in the back of a listing, a lot of things, right? But on the flip side, we also get the new fees and things like that first, and so that for American sellers is a number one thing that I would imagine it's going to come to Europe as well. But if you were to ask many American sellers, what's the biggest difference or what's the biggest pain point, is there was 3 new fees released back to back to back. Number one is the inbound fee. So if you don't ship your product to like 4 different places at least, you get a per unit surcharge. And so for somebody like me, it didn't really affect too much because I have my own warehouse right here at my house. Yeah. And so I'm just like, all right, let me go ahead and make 4, like I just do, UPS partnered shipping. So it's very easy for me to go ahead and send to 4. Are my prices increased for shipping? Yes, a little bit, but at the same time, Amazon did a fee reduction on the back end, on the seller, on the buyer side, right? Yeah. So my costs are very similar. But then there's people who ship containers, for example, or LTL to Amazon, and you can't just take a container, hey, let me divide this in 4 and go. Like, so those people are having to 100%, maybe they've got 20,000 units on this container, and every single one all of a sudden is getting a 30-cent charge. That's thousands of dollars that they have no way to get that money back, So that's number one. The second one is low inventory fee, that there's a lot of confusion about. Like, hey, if you let your inventory levels drop at a certain point, every unit starts getting a surcharge, like a month later. And then the third one is like, if your product has a return rate that gets a little bit higher than a certain percentage, then you're going to get a fee. So Amazon sells. Yeah.
Just real short, because these fees are also in Germany right now, or they're going to be launched pretty
soon. Oh, they're going to.
And
so they announced already. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Especially the
congratulations
return fee. The return fee is crazy.
Yeah.
So
So these are things that it's unlike the shipping charges goes up and goes down, and gas prices, fuel surcharge. But this is permanent. This is like, no, this is here now, and it's never going away. So sometimes when there's, heavy, transportation costs, sometimes Amazon sellers are just like, okay, I'm going to eat it for now. Maybe one shipment or something, I'm going to lose some money, but it'll probably go back down, and then I'll make the money back or something like that. I'm not going to raise my prices. But now it's like, no, these are permanent fees.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lot of sellers are having to raise prices. A lot of sellers are losing profitability. So it's just a matter of being flexible. It's still very, very possible and very doable to make money on Amazon, but you have to be more creative. Let's just say that you have to be more creative than in years past. Like you talked about when you were making videos in 2019. In 2019, you could sometimes you can just throw products on Amazon and just sit back and rake in tons of profit. Now you have to be a little bit smarter about how you do it.
Definitely, and you need to watch everything that has to do something with stocks, because most of the fees are around there. There are also like some redemption of fees here in Germany. So you need to have an eye on that. Is FBM is it a thing over in the States at the moment?
I always have used FBM from day one. Again, because I have a warehouse, because I always like to dual list my listings. I don't know how it is in Europe, but for example, in America, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can still see the products, but then when you add it to your shopping cart, like let's say it's $23, it might say $10 shipping. So now all of a sudden that $23 product is $33. And guess what? That customer is probably going to say, nah, it's too expensive. So I always dual list, because I can ship for almost the same price as what it cost me to send to Amazon and what, their pick, pack, and fulfillment. So I can put it at the same price, and then it's my shipping, free shipping. And then so I can sell it for $23 and still make money. And so I find that I get like about 5% sales bump when I have that, compared to somebody who's only doing FBA. That being said, there's different services now where you can have seller fulfilled Prime, which means that I'm still shipping, but I get the Prime badge. Like I don't even do FBA, I get a Prime badge. But that's hard, because you got to be able to ship 1 day, 2 days to most of the country. And most of us, like me, I'm not big enough where I'm doing that kind of volume where I can make a contract with a shipping company to send from California to New York in 2 days. That's going to cost me $20 shipping almost. So only the really, really big companies, or companies that have like warehouses all over the country, they can do the seller fulfilled Prime.
it's a lot easier in Germany because the country is obviously
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
smaller.
Yeah.
So we're doing like FBM for like more than a year now. We bought a fulfillment center, and prices here, to be honest, so it's relatively easy to get the prime by seller. And depending on your product, for at least most of the products that are a little bit heavier and larger, you can actually save a good amount of money for every
Interesting.
shipment. Sometimes it's like
But do you also have the ability to get the Prime badge too?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
easier because the Prime shipping, I believe it was. I mean, it's really well marketed in Germany, so everybody was like, "Oh, it's so cool to have my product on the next day." But
Yeah.
even like 10 or 15 years ago, because Germany is so much smaller, it was normal. So if I go to the post station and I give up a package, it's gonna be there the next day if I'm gonna do it in the morning.
Yeah,
it's normal. It's no extra fee or something. But anyways, this is one way to get around the new fees, for example.
Yeah.
Interesting. And is there, because you just mentioned there are new opportunities all the time, like Amazon posts, or I don't know, is there still this live feature where you can go live on your list?
I don't think that just, I don't understand really why that never took off in America. Not just on Amazon, but in general. I mean, America is kind of like the father of live shopping. You know, like we had, you've probably heard of QVC and channels on TV where it's live shopping. You know, 40 years ago, America has been doing that. But you see how big live shopping is in China and India and some other countries where people are making $1 million in like 1 hour, you know, selling so many products, but it just never took off for some strange reason. I know TikTok Shop is trying to do it, but in America, you know, as far as, you know, some of the new things, I think you're going to see more of an importance on brand stores and following the brand stores, and you know, because Amazon is now giving more benefits to people who have a following, where you could actually, in some, you know, situations, even send, I mean, they kind of stopped it now, but they were doing an experiment where you could even market to those customers, remarket to your followers. And, you know, Amazon always before has been like, no, this is our customers. You cannot contact them or do anything or send promotional information at all to them. So even though they stopped that, you know, part of that program, I think part of it is going to come back, because I'm seeing a lot more emphasis from bigger brands in focusing on their brand presence and their storefront. You know, where it's not just like, hey, let me just set it and forget it. Now they're like, hey, no, we need to be changing our storefront every 2 weeks and giving customers a reason to land there. And so that's something that's new-ish. And if that starts taking off, I think it's going to be another way that you can maintain your customers on Amazon is getting more brand recognition, even if you're a smaller brand out there.
Yeah, I would agree about that. It's actually interesting. How is it about like Temu or Shein or pages like that? Do you think? Because I was beginning of the year, I was thinking about maybe Amazon is going to lower prices or has to do something because there are more and more competitors also on the German market that coming up, and obviously the cost structures for most other marketplaces are way lower than on Amazon. So I could offer my products on different marketplaces for a lot less than I do it on Amazon and still make a good amount of profit. So on the long term, do you think this is going to be a thing or something that?
I don't think so. I mean, it's funny because I say that because it just has such a bad reputation in the United States. Those websites of the quality of products and things and just like different.
They take over. I don't believe it, but I thought maybe there's more competition now.
Yeah.
For Amazon itself, so
well,
they have to do something about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of weird. Despite that, you actually see Amazon did like a big fee reduction for apparel, because that's the number one thing for like Temu and Shein is like low cost clothing, right? And then so Amazon, I think, like cut their fee in half almost, and suppose, you know, some news reports said it was because of what was going on with those, but now, you know, supposedly Temu and Shein are going after like third-party sellers, trying to get them to sell on the platform. But I just cannot see that being any kind of significant threat to Amazon. It's like not even in my mind about like worrying about what's going to happen there. I mean, the part that is more affecting is to Amazon sellers, where maybe their products are getting copied or they're using their images, and then now they're selling like, fake products that are for sellers. Like that part is kind of concerning. But as far as, oh no, Temu and Shane are going to take market share from Amazon's business, I don't think it's going to take much at all.
Yeah, me neither. But sometimes I'm asking myself, why is no one like coming up and fighting against Amazon? Because here in Germany, it's like crazy. The market share, I think it's bigger than anywhere else on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the States, for example, I think Walmart. What do you say? How big is Walmart compared to Amazon?
It's very small. I think it was something like don't quote me on this, but like if Amazon was like 70% of e-commerce and Walmart was like 12% or something like that, but it was still, Walmart is still number 2, and then everybody else is below Walmart. Now Walmart, I think the reason why, like, even though it hasn't really taken off, like, so like TikTok Shop is going like this, Walmart's just been steady. But there are advantages of Walmart over Amazon that Amazon can't match. For example, Walmart has over 4,000 physical stores in the United States, and each of those can be a distribution center and last mile. So Amazon or Walmart is actually closer to American people than Amazon with all of their DCs. And plus the advantage of every single one of those 4,000 stores, it's like somebody can go there for shopping, like to get their milk and their groceries, and then, hey, let me go pick up my package. And so those are some kind of things that Amazon can't even compete with. So I do think Walmart is here to stay as the number 2 in the United States, at least.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm really excited about like German marketplace, because like we have some huge companies similar to Walmart, also from the physical store standpoint, and they're pretty small at the moment. But I think right now one company is going for it. Have you ever heard of Kaufland or Lidl?
I have not.
No, like I think they're doing like 120 or 125 billion dollars in revenue in Germany only, with groceries and stuff. So they are by far the biggest grocery store. And I was wondering why they didn't go for the online stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe they're getting ready for it. And it took Walmart how long to
do. I mean, selling on their platform is a little bit more profitable actually at the Amazon, but obviously it's, I mean, if you make like 2 sales on Kaufland,
sure. Exactly.
Amazon, it's a different game. All right, cool. So do you have like, I mean, as always, I'm asking for like not the best tip, because that's a stupid question, I think, but like some good advice you would give to people selling on Amazon right now.
I would say for right now, there's one warning and one tip. One warning is, we talked a little bit about AI, especially this year. I'm just hearing so many more and more, and from people I respect, like speculation about what's the future on Amazon. And I hear some like kind of outlandish things, and some of them, I guarantee some of them will be true. But here's the thing. There's 10 people who say 10 different things. They're not all going to be true, because people are just guessing. There's like, hey, the entire way that you can search on Amazon is going to be changed. And the way you make an Amazon listing will be 100% different. And so, like you're never going to have to use Cerebro anymore. Like, no, I can guarantee that that's not going to happen. I mean, it's no matter what changes is going to happen. I mean, the same basic way that you make a listing is going to be the same. Like you have to make it relevant, and you have to know what people are searching for. But then other people are speculating about, hey, how is Amazon search going to change? And so what I see sometimes is because I'm out there at conferences a lot. A lot of sellers are coming to me like very nervous and worried, like, oh man, how do I prepare for this algorithm change, or how do I prepare for the AI? I'm like, don't even think about it right now.
Good products will win at the end.
Good products will win. But here's the thing too. Amazon always changes. That's a given. Yeah. One day you could get reviews for incentivize reviews and give free products. The next day you couldn't. One day you could do search, find, buy. The next day you couldn't. Now, the search, find, buy could have ended at any time. It could have been replaced by 75 different strategies that might have been legal. But if you're worried and planning about that, before it even happens, you're losing your focus on what is actually making money for your business right now. All right. So just worry about what's going on right now. And then the moment something changes and things change, Amazon has new fees, Amazon changes algorithm, then you worry about, okay, let's go ahead and pivot. And so I think that's a big danger this year, is too many sellers are getting worried or distracted by things that aren't even verified. and they're losing focus on their core business when it's very critical. And then my second tip is it's a Helium10 one, but it's very slept on. Like I would say 95% of users don't even use this. But when we're launching a product, sometimes we have trouble getting impressions for PPC for a keyword. Sometimes we have trouble ranking, even though we're indexed for a keyword. And like, what's going on? I made my listing perfect where I use this keyword phrase maybe 3 times as my main keyword. Why can I not get impressions? Or why, even though I'm getting sales, my rank is increasing so slowly? And a lot of times people don't realize it's actually Amazon might be confused in the beginning. What is your product? The relevancy might be messed up. And so there's a way you can actually get a live look at what Amazon thinks you're relevant for. It's in Cerebro. You put your product in Cerebro just like normal. And then you go to this column called Amazon recommended rank and you sort it from least to greatest. Those top 30 keywords that come up, that is not Helium10 algorithm or estimation. That is directly coming from Amazon API about what it thinks is the most relevant. It doesn't always have to be your best keywords is right there, but you look at those top 20 keywords, you're going to know instantly, hey, is Amazon confused about my products? I had these socks that had a phrase on the bottom, like, if you can read this, bring me coffee. I had coffee. Coffee is my number one keyword, like gifts for coffee lovers, coffee this, coffee that. I could not get impressions, hardly any in PPC for it. And I'm like, what's going on? This is in my title. It's everywhere. I ran this and I saw the top 30 keywords is all generic, black sock, pink sock, woman socks, nothing about coffee because Amazon was confused. Like, and you can kind of understand now that you take a step back. It's like, oh yeah, like coffee is like a grocery keyword. So it was confused a little bit. So I always say like my tip now is like when you launch a product, do a fake launch first. Throw away ASIN, throw away UPC, make your listing how you want it, make it live using FBM for like 1 day only, and run Cerebro. And then now make sure Amazon is not confused. And you might have to, if it is confused, you might have to do things like send some traffic to a keyword or change the optimization. But you don't want to be doing these things during your product launch. You know, like you're losing sales, you're losing your honeymoon period. Do it on this test listing. And then now when you make your real listing, now you know exactly what you have to do from day one to be fully relevant to Amazon. So that's like a tip I think very, very few people are using.
Okay, sounds really interesting. I think it's a lot of work if you always like throw away your UPC. But obviously, if you're starting with FBM, never thought about it. It's interesting. I think especially maybe for products that are easy to get confused on. Okay, anyways, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate you being here on the podcast. So whenever you're back in Germany, just let me know.
Yes. Take me for some schnitzel and some beer, please.
I will. Or here in Berlin, we will take you maybe for some kebab or some Arabic food.
Hey, that's the other reason that I go to Europe. I don't have good kebab here in the States.
No, it's never nowhere in Europe. It's good. It's only in Germany actually.
Okay, in Germany. Okay, German kebab. Got it.
In Berlin especially. However, man, thank you so much, and yeah, keep it doing, and we see.
Awesome. Bye.